BERUKU, here. BERUKU one in their name. Baruch. They talk about there was this school shooting. Um, Boy about 20 years old, he was killed 20 little children and shot 6 teachers. And they wonder, well, how is this stuff happening? But it's the delusional programming. The delusional programming. Now, this is supposed to be Christmas. Christmas is broken down. The word is Christ Mass. The Christ Mass. But yet, this type of delusional programming, that you're doing to the children, this is straight up lying. It's not only lying, but then you're taking Christmas and you're birthing a whole other type of culture and religion. It's a bunch of nonsense. You don't tell children the truth. You don't tell the Hebrews that they're Hebrews. Do we need to go over the list of Hebrews real quick, just so we can know who the Hebrews are? Maybe we need to go over the list of the Hebrews once again, so they can know who the children of the Ethiopians are, which are the Hebrews, and the different the different tribes of the Hebrews. Maybe we need to go over that again so they can understand. But we can see that there's a delusional training involved with the culture in America. There's a delusional training. Everything y'all do about Christmas is about Satan. You always give glory and praises to Satan, but you never give glory or praises to the Black Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. Or when you do go to church and you claim to worship God or Christ, you have the images up of the beast. You don't even have him in his proper image. You have the images up of the beast. But just to give a primary example, this is what you call delusional training. And for them, for like European Gentile white supremacy, this is what you call this is a art of war. You know what I'm saying? It seems that our people don't seem to understand the art of war. They don't understand their ancestral history or their past, and then mixed up with this Romanized or Hellenistic type of culture that brings in Santa or Satan for Christ. So they bring in Satan for Christ. You know what I mean? So you're practicing this Christmas. They want to tell you, have a holly jolly Christmas, and toys in every store. That's their trademark, right? That's their trademark, right? So this is a piece of the delusional fame. I'm gonna bring that remote. Give that remote. This is the type of delusional training that the other one. But this is just a small example of delusional training. It's a small example of delusional training. But when we go look at, let's see what they're talking about. Because now they want to take people's the right to bear arms. They basically want to take guns away from people or take the right to bear arms. Let's see what's going on here. Obama wants gun control. You see that? Gun control action. So now what they're trying to do is they already have a form of where they took guns away from like poor people or lower class people who probably carrying weapons on what they call the street, or what they would call unlawfully carrying a weapon. That's having a weapon without a license, and they take that from these because it's according to what they say that it's according to what they say you should pass to have a license. But yet, when people go crazy or they're delusional, it has nothing to do with street drugs or it has, if anything, has more to do with big pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical companies are big drug dealers, but yet if you catch a crackhead, what do? They go catch the dealer and they give the dealer a maximum amount of time. But with the big pharmaceutical companies, if they catch you with one of their pills or something like that, they don't give they catch you with pills or something, yeah, they give you time, but they don't punish the drug dealers. They're pharmaceutical companies who are drug dealers, putting all types of chemicals in these drugs. Just like how they got rid of methadone. When the brother Matula Shakur, you should go look that up. Matula Shakur, when he came out with the acupuncture study up there in New York, and they went in and raided his office and went and locked him up because he had a safe medical practice of weaving those who are on drugs like heroin or especially heroin, especially things like heroin. Heroin is it takes over the body almost more than most other drugs. Now they got this thing that's going on in the white areas with this meth stuff. And then, of course, always, like the CIA, they put crack in the black neighborhoods to get rid of the Black Panthers. That's if you know anything about the COINTELPRO. But you may not know about the COINTELPRO, which was under J. Edgar Hoover, and they had the COINTELPRO with the FBI, and Ronald Reagan was head of the CIA when they put crack in the African American community. None of this stuff is really a secret. But what we don't understand is how is it that white America is not able to get their hands on this stuff. These same people pulling these same type of stunts. Like we said, once again, this was a young man, and I feel bad for the tragedy. These were 6- and 7-year-old children who got killed, right? But yet the paganism, the false ideologies, and the false Christian worship still never stopped in their communities. If you look at some of the things they put on here, I don't know, I can't remember this lady's name right here, but seeing she gets whiter and whiter every time I look at this. Her hair gets more blonde and blonde. It's almost as if she probably forgot she was black, or she forgot she was African. What kind of people turn their back on their own history, their own culture, their own country, and they're so whelmed up in somebody else's culture and country that they actually think that they're part of it or have a deal in it, when it actually states in their doctrines and their constitution that you're useless sheeple or you're only 3/5 of a person. You're basically a part of their stock market. You've been a part of their stock market since slavery. Harriet Tubman was trying to tell you, she said, I freed 3,000 slaves. I would have freed 3,000 more only if they knew they were slaves. But now they have this thing with this whole gun control. I'm not worried about the name of a gun, or R115. I'm not worried about the name of a gun. It's the name of a weapon killing people. Then you want to go back and say that it's the video games killing people, but you haven't talked about the demonic movies and the demonic cartoon shows like SpongeBob and many of the shows that you have out there. I don't even need to mention them, but SpongeBob is personal. I think this kid was probably sitting at home watching SpongeBob every day, and he probably just went crazy. Or delusional. Delusional. But there's some type of cult going on in these upper class white neighborhoods where they're getting away with a lot of things that they're doing. They've always been getting away with crime. They've always got away with crime. It's nothing new to people who live in black communities or Hispanic communities or lower class communities and poor communities. It's nothing new to them. We always known that the upper class white people or the rich white folks, they got away with crime. They've always gotten away with crime, and we've always been punished 77 times 77 for what they so-call a crime in America. It's like we get a triple punishment for being poor or being lower class. These people do these things and they say, oh, he was a little angel, or he was corrupted, he went bad, instead of just saying, hey man, he was a straight up terrorist. It was a terrorist attack. He killed 20 children and he killed 6 adults who weren't armed to protect themselves. One of the ladies had locked herself in the room with 14 kids. She locked herself in the room with 14 children. All right? 14 children. Okay? If she would have had a gun, do you think that woman would have not protected herself? If she would have had a gun, just in case something like that would have happened. It's not like it's never happened before. You had the Columbine situation. You had the other terrorist threat where the guy shot up the movie. Okay? But to the extent of all these threats, when most of these things happen, you never had an so-called even a sniper shooting with the black man and the young boy who was about 12. Even a sniper shooting, they never. What time did they ever target little children, little innocent little children? We're not even talking about grown folks who are innocent, which is already bad enough. You know what I mean? We're not even talking about grown folks. We're talking about innocent little kids who haven't even had the chance to grow up. You know what I mean? These are 6- and 7-year-old little kids who haven't even had the chance 7 years before puberty. you know, 4 or 5 years before puberty. You know what I mean? Taken out, killed. You know what I mean? Because somebody wants to go through a cultural ritual, and your response to it is to come and take people's weapons away from them when you have chaotic individuals like this running around killing people? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? What type of agenda do you have? Because is it that y'all's agenda is for the Gentiles when they know their world is coming to an end? They talking all this 2012 shit because they know that's the end of the times for the Gentiles. It's the 120th year of His Imperial Majesty, Quedamawe, Haile, Selassie, all right? And once again, like we say, we have a violation of rights. They've taken many of rights already, but what they're in the process of doing is taking even more rights away from people, okay? You know, y'all want to talk about propaganda, and one individual had told me one time, why are you teaching people Hebrew? That's propaganda. It really, is that fucking propaganda? Yeah, it is propaganda, but it's righteous propaganda. You know what I mean? There's a difference between righteous propaganda, right, and harmful propaganda that your American media teaches every day. You're not even just the media. We don't even just the media. Your television set. The only thing real about America is the Nature Channel, and half the time you got to cut down the commentary because they'll fuck that up. You know what I mean? I'm serious. The only thing real about America is when they on TV about America. Only thing that won't make you delusional. Look how delusional people are. You have people who are a certain race who don't even like being who they are. They want to be something else. They want to change their hair to fit you. You know, they want to look like you. They want to talk like you. But the thing is that when are people going to dig deep inside themselves, right, and be originally who they are, be of their country, be of their culture, you know, practice their righteous constitution. You know, when are you going to be Ethiopians? When are you going to be Hebrews that it says you are in the Bible? You know, instead of all this false nonsense, you know, all this crazy shit. Now y'all want to come and start taking people's... And what they're going to do is they're going to try to enforce this. They have the Patriot Act, so they can run in anybody's house and take anybody's shit, right? They have this Patriot Act, right? Well, they say they can do that, but according to the Bible, you can't do that. And someone say, well, what does this have to do with the Bible? It has a whole lot to do with the Bible. For one thing, the United States Constitution was signed under the oath of the Bible, in case you didn't know that shit. Maybe you didn't know that. So if you want to say, what does this have to do with the Bible? Well, maybe you should have made a constitution making an oath to the Bible. And then maybe you wouldn't be upheld for not upholding the laws or the covenantal agreement in the Bible or corrupting the Hebrew peoples in the Bible. You know, being righteous Christians and admitting in spirit and truth that this is a terrorist, this was a terrorist plot, this is a terrorist agenda. It was probably some underground occultic satanic agenda, you know, passing your seeds through the fire to Molech. Because every time you let your kids practice Santa Claus and Santa's little helpers and the elves and shit, but you never tell them anything about Christ. It's the day that Jesus Christos, the Yehoshua HaMashiach, was born. All right? In the name of the Quedamawe, Haile Selassie. People, find out who Haile Selassie is. It's very important to your lives that you find out who Haile Selassie is. So now we have murder by chaos, delusional chaos. Now, from what springs from the murders in delusional chaos, we have now, in effect, really martial law. We have what they call martial law, which is a form of chaos of coming and taking things from people who aren't able to defend themselves. Okay, because we know in many poor neighborhoods, now we're not saying that there are there some straight up cops who just try to be good guys. Hey, we're not saying that there's not. But I've seen more crooked and dirty ones. You know what I mean? We're talking about people who go through poor neighborhoods, hunting down poor people, people they know are just trying to survive. You know what I mean? Hunting down poor people, and then an incident like this takes place in the upper class, you know, white neighborhood. You know what I mean? And now they want to make it everybody's problem. You want to make it everybody's problem. But when people are poor, it's only the poor people's problem. Or for example, there were children, many of children being killed over there in Africa right now. You know, over there, even in Somalia, there's many of children being killed, and they exceed the number of 27. In fact, I'll go get the picture because there was a brother who was on the Facebook, and I thank that brother. I'm sorry, my brother, I can't remember your name, but it was on the Rastafari Facebook, and he put up a picture, and he said this is more than 27. But let me just make an example to you of how that it seems as though white America only cares about white America. It's fuck everybody else. They only care about white America. They fuck over everyone else and care about white America. Now, that's not to say that all white people are bad people. That's not true. But you have a lot of these people who are being influenced by this demonic or satanic culture. We know it's satanic because Saint, what you call Saint Nick, there's no such thing as Saint Nick. If you go look up in the dictionary, Old Nick, it's Satan. Old Nick is Satan. All y'all added to it was the first name, which is, y'all didn't even put Saint Nick. Y'all make it Santa. You make your evidence very clear what you worship, which is Satan. You know, and then you try to turn Satan to this. Not you want to turn Satan into Christ with the Antichrist image. So you know, this is just the first vid I wanted to do, just in a response to this nonsense. This is insanity. You've already taken away many of other people's rights already. When are you going to give back the poor righteous? When are you going to give back the poor righteous their rights? When are you going to give these people back their land? No question isn't. You know, Rastafari and Shalom. Meditate on that.